Will your favorite NFL team win their division in 2022? What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, back with another NFL video. In this video, picking every NFL division winner from the AFC East to the NFC West. Let's begin with the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills will win the AFC East in 2022, led by Josh Allen. These are your Super Bowl favorites this season. They have an incredible, explosive passing attack. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis breakout potentially, Dawson Knox, Isaiah McKenzie with his speed. From the backfield, you add James Cook to Devin Singletary. The offensive line is rock solid, not elite, good enough to protect Josh Allen. You know that Allen can beat you with his arm or his legs any given week, but where they could see that extra boost is thanks to the additions they've made on defense. Not only did they get Tre'Davious White back at cornerback, but they added a first-round pick to that cornerback group. Not only do they have Jordan Phillips back in the fold and Shaq Lawson back in the fold, but you sign Von Miller for those big games late in the season, and that could truly put the Buffalo Bills over the top. This is a great, well-rounded roster that is ready to win in 2022. They should easily win this division, even though I believe the Dolphins and the Patriots will both be competitive this year. The winner of the AFC North in 2022 will be the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, maybe a slight shocker here. I've been a Cincinnati Bengals backer for basically the entire offseason, but there's something within me that believes that the Baltimore Ravens will come back strong in 2022 and surpass the Bengals. The fact that they were the most injured team we've basically ever seen last year, and how they were leading the pack. They were leading the AFC North midway through last season despite all the injuries, all the trauma. They almost overcame that, and I believe they would have made the playoffs if Lamar would have stayed healthy last year. This year, I believe they'll get better injury luck. I believe Lamar Jackson is going to have a chip on his shoulder. I believe that they'll get back to Baltimore football, which means their offensive line will be better, with Ronnie Stanley back at left tackle, with Morgan Moses at right tackle, with Tyler Linderbaum picked to be the new center. This is an offensive line that can dominate the trenches, which will set up Lamar for success. On top of that, you have a dynamic tight end in Mark Andrews, a breakout receiver in Rashad Bateman, and the running backs should return to health at some point this year. Baltimore has been known for their defense, and this defense will once again be awesome. You look at the trenches, they're not going to be ran on. You look at some underrated edge rushers. The secondary is arguably the strongest in football. Marcus Williams added to this group. Kyle Hamilton as a dimension that's unique to this defense. Marcus Peters returns. Kyle Fuller may be in the nickel spot. This is an awesome, well-rounded team that knows how to win in a bunch of different ways. They have the best coach, in my opinion, in the division, a superhero at quarterback, also a pretty darn good kicker for the late game moments. If this division is separated by one game, you have to look at the difficulty of schedule. The Cincinnati Bengals, because they won the division last year, have a slightly tougher schedule. The Bengals play the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee, while the Baltimore Ravens play the Jacksonville Jags in Jacksonville. The Ravens get to play the Giants in New York instead of playing the Cowboys in Dallas. So those two games could be the difference for this division and who wins it. The winner of the AFC South in 2022 will be the Indianapolis Colts, thanks to the addition of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan and Frank Reich are going to take the league by storm. I believe that Matt Ryan is going to make all the difference for the Indianapolis Colts this season. They will make the playoffs. They will win this division. They will be the best team in this division. On both sides of the football, this is a very well-rounded squad. You have an offense that can run the football, that can protect the quarterback. Michael Pittman could really take that next step as a number one receiver this year. Watch out for guys like Alec Pierce, the rookie, and especially Paris Campbell from the slot. This is a team that I think is flying under the radar, but they have the makings of being a dynamic threat in the AFC because of their offensive balance. And I think that all stems from Matt Ryan and what he can bring to the drop back passing game. His accuracy, his consistency, and his brain will be the difference over Carson Wentz. Defensively, they're very strong. Up front, they can stop the run, they can get to the quarterback. They add Yannick Ngakoue to the mix. That should definitely help them get more sacks and more pressure. The linebacking core is one of the best in football. The secondary should be much better than a year ago, thanks to a new number 1 corner in Stephon Gilmore. Of course, they have Kenny Moore, but Julian Blackmon also comes back to the lineup at safety, which is going to help them immensely. I believe the Colts are one of those AFC dark horse teams that is being a little bit slept on, and I like them a ton to win this division over, in my opinion, a regressing Tennessee Titans team. I have respect for Mike Vrabel and what he's done, and I like this defense a lot, but I just don't have enough confidence in the offense to be better than Indianapolis this year. I think this is Matt Ryan's year to get back to the playoffs. It is time to bolt up because the winner of the AFC West in 2022 will be the Los Angeles Chargers, led by Justin Herbert and the second season of Brandon Staley. This is their year to win this division and go on a run, because everybody's gonna say the Chargers Charger. They always find a way to choke, Mitch, but not this year. Kyle Van Noy added to the mix. He knows how to win. JC Jackson, he knows how to win. 2 former Patriots. You bring in a hungry veteran like Khalil Mack. He really wants to win. The offensive side of the football, you make the offensive line better with a first-round pick, Zion Johnson. You have all the pieces, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. You have a defense now that is going to be elite versus the past. They were already good last year. Well, you add to Derwin James and Asante Samuel Jr., you add JC Jackson, you add Bryce Callahan, you add Khalil Mack to the pass rush, and then you get much better up front against the run thanks to Austin Johnson, Sebastian Joseph Day, Morgan Fox, pieces that Brandon Staley can mold and work with into his defensive scheme the way he wants it. The balance of the Chargers is going to be next level this year. Offense, defense. Purely an offensive squad in 2021. They will transform into a great, well-rounded football team in 2022 that can play on both sides in an elite level, and that will make all the difference to winning this division. If I'm not convincing you, you might still be a Chiefs fan here, which means that you got to look at the schedule, because here is the ultimate difference between the Chiefs and the Chargers. A few games on the schedule. Kansas City has to face Buffalo, the Bucks in Tampa Bay, and they have to face the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, a team that they struggle against. The Chargers, instead of playing Buffalo, they play Miami. Instead of playing the Bucks, they play Atlanta. Instead of playing Cincinnati, they play a suspended Deshaun Watson's Cleveland Browns in week 5. That could be the difference between the Chargers and the Chiefs. That's why they win the AFC West. The winner of the NFC East will be the Philadelphia Eagles. It is really a 2-team race, and I could understand people picking the Cowboys due to Dak Prescott and the reliability that he holds over an unknown wild card that is Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts did lead the Eagles to the playoffs last year, so he does deserve that respect. And I do believe that the Eagles will play with a more sound identity from the start of this season. Remember, the Eagles didn't find their identity till about halfway through the year. Then they took the league by storm and they made that run to the playoffs. And you add A.J. Brown to Devontae Smith. You have a bunch of weapons around Jalen Hurts. You have one of the best running games in the league. You have an elite offensive line that is deep, that can withstand injury. I'm not sure about Dallas's offensive line if they can withstand injury, because Tyron Smith is older. Zach Martin's getting older. The receiving core for Dak is a little bit suspect. I'm not sure that it's the same. You lose Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup's hurt. Zeke's getting older and doesn't look like the same player he used to be. Defensively, the Eagles do kind of scare me in terms of their scheme, but all the talent is there to be an elite unit. They have an awesome trio of run stuffers, Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, and now Big Davis from the draft. He's gonna really stop the run. The edge rush adds back Brandon Graham from the injury report, and they add Hassan Reddick from free agency. All the pieces are there in the secondary now. James Bradbury to complement Darius Slay with Avonte Maddox in the nickel position. The Eagles are one of the best rosters in football. They have almost 0 holes. The only question really is how much can they get out of Jalen Hurts? And that will ultimately decide not if they win this division, but how good this team can be and how much of a contender they are in this conference. The winner of the NFC North in 2022 will be the Green Bay Packers. As much as I want to say it will be the Minnesota Vikings, I just don't have enough faith truly in Kirk Cousins, the Vikings, still this defense a little bit, and a new head coach for me to put them over the Green Bay Packers. I do believe that the Vikings will be a good football team. I do think they'll make the playoffs, and I do think they have the most explosive offense in this division, which makes them very intriguing to watch this year. But the Green Bay Packers still have Aaron Rodgers. They have a great combo of coach and quarterback. Matt LaFleur typically gets more than he should out of these offensive weapons. The offensive line is sound and deep, and the defense is as good as it's been on paper in years. This is one of the most talented secondaries in football, with Alexander returning to the cornerback 1 spot, Eric Stokes entering his second year, Rasul Douglas at the nickel, Amos and Savage as the safety duo, a first-round pick, Quay Walker, who they love to partner with Devondre Campbell, who was all-pro last year, Kenny Clark joined by Jerron Reed, and the potential defensive player of the year, Rashawn Gary, with Preston Smith. This is just, from top to bottom, one of the most talented defenses in football that should keep the pressure off of Aaron Rodgers having to make all these throws and all these plays to win games. They're going to run the ball very well with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. As long as Rodgers can figure it out in the big moments at the end, they should be able to keep the Vikings just a little bit away from winning this division. I like the Packers to keep that supremacy in the NFC North. The winner of the NFC South, by no surprise to absolutely anybody, will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is perhaps the most obvious winner of any division this year. In my opinion, it's the Bucs. This is a team that hungry to win another Super Bowl for Tom Brady. This could be Tom Brady's last year. He's not going to go down without a fight. An offense that has plenty of weapons. I know people are concerned about Ryan Jensen going down, but I have faith in one of the best tackle duos in the league and my boy Shaq Mason from the New England Patriots. This offense will be one of the best in football, one of the most balanced in football, and of course, one of the best passing games in the league once again. And then defensively is really where I see them taking that jump. I feel like defensively last year they were disappointing, largely due to the lack of consistency in the lineup. They were missing a ton of players in the secondary, especially each and every week, which meant that they couldn't gain that rapport and build upon their success. I believe in 2022, they'll return to that playoff defense we saw in 2020, which won them the Super Bowl ultimately and destroyed the Chiefs in that big game. I believe that a younger front seven for the Bucs with more speed will definitely add a dimension we didn't see last year, and a secondary that should be hitting their peak. Guys like Winfield, Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, Sean Murphy-Bunting, all these guys are about to hit the peak of their careers, and that could be huge for them. You also add a veteran like Logan Ryan to the secondary, a veteran like Akeem Hicks, who could form a dynamic duo with Vita Vea up front. This is a scary defense in all facets, run defense and pass defense. This is a well-rounded, balanced team that should dominate the NFC South in 2022. And last but certainly not least, the winner of the NFC West will be not the Los Angeles Rams, but the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going a little crazy here, a little bit off the board. I'm taking the Niners. There's a couple reasons why. Their defense could be the best in the NFL this year. They are deep at every position. They're the best they've been in the secondary in years, especially at cornerback. Charvarius Ward could make all the difference there. Their linebacking group is probably the best in football. Their defensive line's one of the deepest in the NFL. So I'm not too concerned about potential injuries that come with this team every year. Offense, Trey Lance, I understand, is a big question mark, but if he hits, he's really going to hit. He's going to go off. He's going to be an awesome player in this offense. You've got George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell, tons of weaponry, and a very unique scheme that Shanahan's going to be able to attack defenses with that they've never seen because Trey Lance is now at the helm. Yes, I'm a little concerned about the offensive line. I don't think it's as good as last year, but the Rams' offensive line's not as good as last year either. They're dealing with that little bit of fat and happy feeling from winning the Super Bowl, the Rams are. I'm a little bit concerned about the lack of depth on their football team. Eventually, that has to come back to bite them, and it could be the year after playing all these playoff games, playing in the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. That could definitely happen. We're already hearing things about Van Jefferson, which could hurt their receiving core. I love Matthew Stafford, and he's definitely the best quarterback between him and Trey Lance, but I do feel like this could be the Niners' year. And if you want one more reason why, Again, let's turn to the schedule. The Rams schedule is way tougher. They play the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers. The 49ers do not play the Buffalo Bills or the Green Bay Packers at all. They're not even on their schedule. Instead, they play the Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. And then you look at even stranger, even weirder, the 49ers play all of their tough games at home. They play the Saints, the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Chargers, all at home. Many of these games for the Rams are on the road. So that could make all the difference, especially for a young quarterback like Trey Lance. So it might not be the popular pick, but I like the Niners to upset the Rams just slightly in this division to win the NFC West. Let me know who you have winning every division in 2022. It's Mitch. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to Gronk spike the like button, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.